present tense with Sam Stewart on 91.7 FM, WNJR Washington, and online at WNJR.org. Folks, we've got a great show lined up for you tonight. Last week we had episodes 99 and 100 with Addie Cherry and Kiana Dowling on Thursday. And then the Friday episode that came out on Instagram was Mark and Mike Laseka. That one was awesome. Thank you so much for supporting us, Mark and Mike. Thank you for all you do. And tonight, we've got a great one lined up for you as well. Tonight, I've got 3 players from the WNJ men's basketball team. So let's go ahead and meet our guests. Everyone, welcome on the show. My first guest tonight, a junior from Coriopolis, PA, Isaiah Langston. Isaiah, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, Stu. Happy to be here.
Dude, I'm happy to have you here. My second guest tonight is also a junior from Coriopolis, PA. Everyone, welcome on the show, Kaden. Divito, Kaden, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, Stu. Appreciate you having us.
Nah, I really appreciate you guys coming in. And my final guest, last but not least, is a junior from Beaver, PA. Everyone, welcome on the show tonight, Beckett. Connelly. Beckett, how you doing tonight?
Not too bad. Thanks for having us, Stu.
Dude, I'm excited to have you all here. And let's go ahead and dive right into it. Squad is playing, some good ball right now. 12-4 overall. And, the first question I want to ask is about this game that's coming up Wednesday. Westminster's a big rival. It's always a little chippy. There's always some trash talk between W&J and Westminster, whatever sport's in. So, Zay, I'll ask you first. What do you believe the biggest keys are for winning this game against Westminster on Wednesday at 7 p.m.?
Honestly, I feel like our biggest keys are just going to be on the defensive end because, they're a very good offensive team. So I just feel like if we pick it up on defense, we'll be able to hold our own against them.
And what are some of the keys that you guys talk about when you're playing defense? I know you guys have the press. That's pretty famous at this point that you guys tend to press people. But what are the keys that you guys talk about adjustments in games that come down to defense?
I'd honestly say it's probably just like, everybody be on the same page. That's a big key because we don't want one person out there trying their hardest when the other 4 aren't really, there to back them up, and that's how easy buckets are given up. So I just say probably focusing in and helping out each other.
And Kaden, for you, I want to ask you this question. Squad is 12-4, like I said, so far in the season. How would you assess how this squad has performed so far? What do you guys feel like you've done well so far?
Personally, I think we got off to a little bit of a rough start
in
the beginning. I mean, I don't feel like we were playing our best basketball, and I still don't feel like we're playing too good. But honestly, I feel like we've really improved over these past couple weeks, and we've turned the intensity up in practice. And I want to say that's probably our biggest thing is just having that energy all the time, and not only in the big games, but in every game.
And like you mentioned, you actually led me into my next question there, Beckett. There's always things to improve on, and you guys have about 9 games left in the season. What do you feel like the biggest things the squad can improve on in this final stretch of the year?
I think that we just need to focus on not being satisfied with how last year went and how this year is starting to go with us being number 1 in the pack so far. I just think if we focus on not being satisfied and playing with that chip on our shoulder, then we can definitely make one heck of a run for the rest of the year and then hopefully finish out with another pack championship.
And what's the goal for you guys this year? And, well, I think more specifically, how do you guys fight that complacency? And anyone can take this question because, you guys did come off this big, historic pack win last year, but how do you guys stay motivated and what drives you to win another pack championship?
The biggest thing for me that I've heard our coach say numerous times is just having that chip on our shoulder. And, there's not really anything specific, what we need to do, but it's just having that chip on your shoulder and going out and, trying to prove something every game instead of, thinking you're number 1. If you think you're number 1 all the time, I mean, I don't feel like that ever goes good for anyone,
right.
If you know what I'm saying.
No, that's a good point. Anyone want to add anything?
Just to go off a little bit of what they said, our coach said, keep, our coach says, every day, keep that chip on your shoulder and everything. I just feel we have the pieces, so, just because we have the pieces doesn't mean that we're, we're unbeatable. We can be beat. So, if we just have that mindset, then I feel like, we'll be fine.
Awesome. Great answers, guys. And make sure you check out the online stream. Unfortunately, the Presidents are away at home, or rather at Westminster on Wednesday. But the women's team will be at home, so make sure you check them out. Guys, let's dive into some personal questions. I was going to get to know my guests on the present tense a little bit. So let's start off tonight with my favorites, and it is, when did you fall in love with the game of basketball? And whoever can take this first.
I'd probably say that whenever I fell in love with basketball was having a lot of older siblings kind of paved the way for me to fall in love with sports because my older sister was always playing basketball and my older brother was always playing basketball as well. and my dad would coach their team, so I'd be able to go in the gym and shoot with them, and we'd always stay after practice and shoot a little bit more. And my brother was always better than me at first, so it kind of drove me to want to be better than him, so it made me work a little bit harder, and that's kind of whenever I.
So the question I always ask siblings is, if you played your brother 1-on-1 right now to 11, who's winning? What score?
11's it, me.
Wow, that's awesome.
You can start with the ball too.
Wow, that's crazy. I hope you're listening tonight, dog. But Zay, what about you? When did you fall in love with the game of basketball?
I'd probably say it was after I won my first middle school championship. Is probably when I'd say I really fell in love with the game of basketball, or not so much the game of basketball, just like the feeling of winning. And I feel like just like how basketball, like how that winning felt is just something I wanted to continue to do. So ever since then, I was just like, basketball, winning, that's the only thing that's gonna really make me love this game more.
Now this is getting deep pretty early, but can you describe what it feels like to win?
Ooh, that is a deep question.
That's just, I've never heard someone say they love the feeling of like, I just thought right there, it's like, what is that? I mean, as athletes, we've all felt it, but what does that feel like? Is it even possible to put words to that feeling of winning?
I mean, it is kind of hard, and I guess I don't know, I guess it's just like the serotonin of just looking around and seeing who you're with and who you're winning with that really just like, makes you feel good on the inside. Just makes you feel like a good person, like you did something.
Wow, good stuff right there from Zay. Make sure y'all check that out. Let that marinate a little bit. Kaden, for you, when did you fall in love with the game of basketball?
I'd honestly say I fell in love with the game pretty early. I'd say it was before I even really started playing, but it was going to like my old high school games and watching like those guys compete and claw and stuff like that. And I don't know, it was just like my high school was pretty good. We had some pretty decent athletes come out before I was even in high school, so it was just seeing them, how much they grinded, how much they wanted to win, how hard they worked to get to the position they were in, and that just upstarted my love for the game and what I wanted to bring to it.
That's awesome, and I think it's one of the coolest things, because I remember like going to watch like high school baseball around my area. It's like when you're young, it's just like those kids like in high school, and it's just, you just want to put yourself there. When you get there, it's such an awesome feeling. And we're talking about this high school era of your careers right now. So Beckett, I'll start with you. Why did you choose to come to WNJ and play for Coach Stu?
Well, it's actually a funny story. It was kind of late into my recruitment. I kind of came and visited WNJ. But I remember standing watching all the past players play, and my mom looked over at me and she told me, she was like, "It's so close to home. It's so nice," like all this stuff. And she kind of talked me into it, but immediately once I came on like an official visit, I fell in love with the place and the campus and Coach Stu, and all the guys were all really, really nice off rip. So yeah, I knew probably immediately whenever I wanted to come here.
And one thing that we were talking about last night that I found is you guys were all top 50 scorers in the Whitfield your senior year. Definitely some hoopers came to WNJ, but Kaden and Zay, your story is a little bit more unique than some people we've had on the show. You guys actually went to high school together. You played football and basketball together. And Kaden, I believe you played baseball as well, right?
Me and Zay both played baseball.
Oh, Zay, that's right. You play outfield, right field. That's right. Okay. No, that's all three sport athletes. You guys are obviously close friends. So when you two decided to come to WNJ, what was the factors that were in play there? Because obviously you guys were good friends. So who was the first person to commit, and did that draw the other person to WNJ?
So I was the first person to commit. I think I committed in either I think it was February. I think it was like middle of February. But I was the first to commit, and honestly, my decision, as soon as I came on my official here, the campus was just drop dead, like beautiful. Like it was better than any place I ever visited. It wasn't even close, to be honest with you. So that's what I really liked about it, and I really liked like the message that Coach Stu sent us. And it wasn't that, like, no matter what we did in high school, it wasn't the fact that you're going to come here and you're going to just jump in and get straight to playing. You're going to have to work for it. I like the message that he sent to us. But I'd say some of the factors that led to both of us coming here was just how close we were. I mean, we've been close pretty much our whole lives. And I mean, I don't think that we planned on going to the same college, but I think that based on where we both came recruited at, and the best fit for both of us ended up being here, and I think in the long run it's going to turn out really well for both of us.
Yeah, that's awesome. Is there anything to add on that story?
I mean, you pretty much hit the nail on the head with that one.
What's it like having one of your best childhood friends? Because for me, like, I have my world of friends kind of back in my home state, and then up here it's kind of like two different lives, but to be able to start with college with your best friend, what was that experience like? And even though it was COVID and crazy and all that stuff, what was it like knowing like you had your best friend there?
I'd honestly say like it was kind of like a relief a little bit because like a lot of people come to college, they don't really know anybody, like they have to go out or be on a sports team to like introduce themselves and meet people. But I feel like that, like especially during COVID, like it was just me, him, and actually Beckett was our other roommate just in a room. So like obviously we just all got close, and then like once Beckett saw me and how close me and Kaden were, he just like wanted to be a part of that, and like we're very like open and welcoming people. So like he knew that it was a safe place with us and everything. So I guess that's
that's awesome. And Beckett, one thing I saw from you was a quote about how and this was from the Beaver Area News Report that I was telling about the top 50 scores. That's where I found that information. And you said in that interview that you guys definitely had scores, but you're gonna have to figure out how to put the pieces together. And you had no doubt you figured it out. And that's what I feel like your class has done. Like for a group of people, you guys are just extremely close as human beings, but also as basketball players. So why do you feel like this class has gelled so well together? You good?
I think it's a combination of us all coming from similar areas of the world. Like majority of the people are kind of from PA or a little bit outside. So I think that has an aspect, and just our love for the game of basketball kind of really brought us together. And we also really enjoy having fun, watching sports, and just hanging out with each other every night. So I think just us having common things that we like really mesh things together for us.
Yeah, I know what you mean, and I think that one thing that JR and I know Biggs as well talked about was that you guys do like it gets a little heated at practice and in game stuff just because it is like just a competitive group that you guys have. Like and you guys each have your own personalities. You guys are very different people, but you guys are all so competitive. Like, do you feel like does it ever, one thing I always want to ask you guys is, does it ever spill over when you guys might have like an argument or it gets heated about, in a competitive moment during a game? Does that ever spill over or does that usually just stay on the court?
It always stays on the court. Whatever happens in between those lines stays in between those lines.
I feel like that's important.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, throughout my 3 years here, I've never had or seen someone get into it with someone on the court and then it'd be a problem afterwards. Usually I see them, we all go to comms or gents right together and we're going to have a good laugh about it, honestly.
Now, I want to ask you guys a really interesting question. It is, what is your favorite part about the sport of basketball? And Kaden, we'll start with you this time since we started with Beckett last time.
Favorite part about the sport of basketball? I would honestly say just being around the people that are on the team, honestly. Like, I mean, just like Zay said earlier, I love the feeling of winning as much as the next guy does, but being with these guys and creating relationships that are going to last a lifetime is probably the most important thing to me. What drives me to go to practice every day, because as college athletes, we know practice isn't fun every day, but being with these guys every day, it makes it that much better.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And Zay, what about you? What's your favorite part about the sport?
Honestly, I'd probably say my favorite part about the sport is just honestly like seeing the other guys out there succeed. I guess that would be like, like them like watching me succeed and me watching them succeed, and it translating and it like us like connecting on the court. I guess that whole like, I guess the word be like was like camaraderie of like all of us being together. It's just nice.
Zay out here dropping big words: serotonin, camaraderie.
He's looking at the dictionary.
I feel like his pocket thesaurus. Becky, what about you? What's your favorite part of the sport?
Probably not to backpack off what Kaden said, but there was a specific time we were playing at Teal, and we made a substitution, and I forget who came out or who was already on the court, but we were all standing there, and Teal was shooting a free throw, and we all realized that it was me, Mike, Kaden, Zay, and JR all on the court at the same time. We all like looked at each other and had a good old laugh, and honestly, it's moments like that on the basketball court that I would trade for anything. So yeah, probably just kind of what Kaden said, just the team camaraderie and messing around on the court and having fun.
Zay said, give me my receipt. I said that. No, that's awesome. Great answers, guys. And my next question for you on the flip side of the coin, what is the most difficult part about the sport of basketball? Now, it all looks difficult to me, but if you guys, as basketball players, had to say what the most difficult part of your sport is, what would it be? And Zay, I'll start with you.
I'd probably say the most difficult part is just keep it simple and go losing. Like, nobody likes to lose, and especially like when you're out there with people you love and everything, it's just like hard to see like how they react after a loss and like how you feel after a loss. because like you guys know, you went out there and did your best, and you still lost. It's tough.
Interesting. And Kaden, what about you? What's the most difficult part of basketball?
I wouldn't say it's like the most difficult part of basketball, like in simple terms, but like coming from high school to college, playing in college.
That's
I would say
fair.
The
Yeah.
most important thing is like finding your role, doing what you're good at, and going out there and showing coach that's what I do, that's what my thing is, and this is how I'm gonna do it, and stuff like that. That's how I would describe it.
And now a lot of you guys got buckets in high school. You know, we had a lot of 1,000-point scorers, 7 people out of your original 11-person classification. Just to piggyback off that, what's the biggest difference between the high school game and the college game?
It's a lot different. I mean, going from playing at like a single way school like Cornell to coming here and playing D3 basketball in the PAC. I mean, obviously size, that's one of the biggest things, but it's just like the pace of the game. The pace of the game is a lot different. If you watch any of our highlights, you'll see 30 fast break layups. But if you
Especially you guys too, you guys run a lot.
Exactly. And you watch our like basketball games and our college games, and you don't really see too many fast. So like it's the defense is more, everything's more intense. It's times 10 with everything.
And Beckett, what about you? What's the most difficult part of the game?
Probably personally the most difficult part of the game is probably preseason. All the conditioning, all that stuff, all the bird dogs.
What's a bird dog?
So it's a stretch that we all do during our workout, and it's really difficult. And it's supposed to work with your legs and keep your hamstrings in shape. But
okay, I know what you're talking about. Where you're down. I know I've heard of bird dog drill before. I won't demonstrate right now, but
that's not our lingo. That's what we were told it's called.
Oh, there you go. No. I've heard of that before. My next question for y'all: what is one trait that it takes to be successful in the game of basketball? Whoever can take this first.
I think discipline is the biggest thing. I mean, it takes discipline. I mean, you don't know how much we all talk about not wanting to go to practice, or not wanting to do this, or not wanting to listen to what the coach says. But I mean, they're putting us in the best position to win and be the best like person that we can be, not even on the court but off the court. So I'd say discipline's the biggest thing.
I'll probably say like grit, your guts. Like how gutsy are you on the basketball court?
Yeah.
How gutsy are you willing to be? And do you have the grit to go ahead and make a
Drink
play?
from the hose.
Yeah, drink from the hose.
Say, what about you?
Man, I don't know. These guys said some good ones. I gotta follow up with this.
Bro, got a Platosaurus.
I run out of big
Moxie.
Man, I don't know, Stu. It's a tough one. I'm probably just gonna go with what Kaden said and Beckett said. I mean, they both said some really good ones. I feel like those are two of the most important things that you are gonna need out there to be able to be successful as a team.
Good stuff. Now, I'm going to pull up this next one. This has been the hot item on the present tense as of late in our interviews off campus this weekend and the ones that I brought out last week on the season opener. What is something in your life that you are proud of?
Ooh, that's deep.
Yo, not gonna lie, that one's been hitting lately.
I mean, I'm proud of that ring on my finger.
Here. It makes you think, and I think I'll talk what you guys think, and I think I don't really talk about like the formula of developing questions much, but I was looking up, I just Googled like I don't even know what the search was, but it was like just maybe it might have been questions on a first date or something like that. I was just looking for questions, and then I found this website and it said, "What are you proud of?" And I thought to myself, I was like, how many times in our lives we're always so busy and we're always like acknowledging other people, we're always trying to chase something. Do we acknowledge like that we did something good in our lives? And then I stopped for a second. I was like, like I really got to think about this. So I feel like if we stop and take a look about what we've done in our past, and although we do live in the present tense, we sometimes have to give ourselves credit. Like, hey, look, we did this, and I'm proud of that, and I can take that into the future with me. So I think it is a really interesting question, and I've talked enough that I think you guys have time to be able to answer now. So.
That's good.
So I think one thing I'm really proud of personally is probably making the decision to come here, because like I'm really happy to call all these guys my friends and hang out with them all the time, spend so much time with them and share so many laughs, and I just am really proud that younger me made the decision to come here, because the older me is thanking him so much for it.
Wow, that's deep. That's deep. Good answer. Great answer. And Zay, what about you?
Honestly, Beckett kind of said something that resonated with me, and I was like, I guess I'm proud of the people that I'm around. You know, like I don't have like nobody that's like negative or nobody that's doing bad or trying to bring me down. Like everybody that I'm around, like we pick each other up. Like it's always, dude, like get better. Like come on now, like be on your stuff. Like you're slacking. Like they'll always pick me up no matter what. And I feel like having those people around me is honestly what's made me like just a better person overall.
Proud of the people you're around. That's good stuff right there. Is a great answer. I don't have to think about that. I think that's, and we've talked about the characters in your story a lot on the show over the years. And I think who you surround yourself with, that's something to be, if you're proud of that, I think that's a really important thing in life. And Kaden, your answer.
I'd say I'm proud of the way that I've like kind of matured and transitioned from high school to now. I'd say I was a little bit of an asshole in high school.
Zay smiling.
I feel like I really calmed down.
Yeah, I never would have thought that. You've always been like a nice guy.
I was a lot different in high school.
All right, awesome. Now, let's get a little bit deeper with this one here. What is one word you would use to describe yourself?
Funny. I'm probably the funniest person.
Debatable. Zay's got that kind of dry insult humor. Takes a little bit to get used to. Beckett's not on his head, but yeah, no, I think you're definitely a funny guy. You're a fun guy. Oh, that's funny. All right, Kaden, I see the gears turning over there. I see you thinking hard.
I am thinking hard. I'm really not too sure. I like one thing that I like to use to describe myself though is competitive, like in everything, whether it's school, sports, whatever we're doing. If we're playing 2K, I'm gonna be mad if we lose.
Yeah, I know. I've been there, bro. And Beckett.
First of all, I would like to say Sam's doing a nice haircut.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
But one word to describe myself, I think I'd say outgoing. I feel like I'm a really outgoing person. I try to put a smile on other people's faces and always try to make people laugh and always trying to have a good time wherever I am in whatever situation. So
for sure. Whenever I see you, I just get a big smile on my face.
I have that effect on people.
Oh man, no guys, great answers. Now I don't even know if I was gonna add this one in, but I think it might be interesting. So, what is one word you would use to describe the group of men on this basketball team?
Annoying.
I'd probably say chaotic.
Chaotic.
Chaotic's probably the
Chaotic. All right, great answer. All right, now my next question for y'all is, what's your major and minor here at WJ? Simple question.
I'm actually, I don't have a minor. I'm just a business major right now.
Cool. What do you want to do with that?
Honestly, still trying to see where it takes me. So just feeling things out right now.
I got you now, man. That's me too, man. And Kaden, what about you?
Right now, I'm an economics major with a business minor.
Nice. You should have seen, by the way, you're a business major too, right?
Oh, yeah.
I had a point. I had a point.
I was going to be severely sarcastic, but
yeah. I took far. But we got these pizzas last night, and I was sitting there, and they were like dividing like the math and stuff. Like, so we have to pay that. I was like, yo, let's just I'll pay like 2 extra bucks. It ain't that deep, dog. But no, that's awesome. Now, my next question for y'all is, who is your player comparison? Now, we talked about it. This is honest. I didn't know like y'all talked about this in the locker room. I didn't know. Apparently, in the women's basketball team meeting the other day, they had all discussion about it. But it is a interesting question. So we had some discussion, but I'll go ahead and hear your answers now.
Yeah, I'll start it off. I think a good like player comparison for me would be like Derek White from the Boston Celtics.
That's a very thoughtful answer.
I think just because he's like a spot-up shooter, that's pretty much what he does on the offense end. He can go to the rim a little bit, but then on the defensive end, he's all out.
He played great in that finals. He basically won game 1 for him. Yeah, he balled out.
He's a really solid player.
Yeah, no, all around definitely. Zay, what about you?
Man, this took a lot of thought, but I'm probably gonna go with. I'll probably go with Andrew Wiggins, if I'm being completely honest.
The Maple Mamba.
Yeah. I feel like, just like what he does out there, he just causes havoc on both ends of the floor, and I think that's what I do.
Yeah, the Warriors have missed him when he's been out this year, for sure. Definitely a very quality player. And Beckett, what about you?
I'm probably gonna say Bobby Portis.
Hey, the people's champ, Bobby.
A little 3-and-D guy.
Yeah, nice. No, okay, cool. That's awesome. Man, I'm gonna hit y'all with this question to kind of wrap up this this deep segment a little bit. If you could go back and sit in the dorm room where y'all were roommates, and you see your freshman year self walk in on the first day, what would you tell that kid?
I'd tell him to leave the bathroom door alone.
Is there a story there?
My freshman self.
I mean, the first day, as you step in a college dorm room on the first day, I'm sure you had a nice fit on, Zay.
Nah, I was probably wearing sweatpants and some slippers. Something sloppy. I'd probably tell him honestly. I'd tell him just keep doing what you're doing. You know, you're doing fine. It'll all work. Like everything in life is just gonna work itself out. So just keep your head on straight, and you'll be fine.
And Cam, what about you?
I would say probably something similar, but I would just say have a little bit more fun. You know, you only have 4 years here. It's not. It's a short time when you really think about it.
Here for a good time, not a long time.
Exactly. That's how I think about it.
I mean, it is true in college. You know, I think you gotta balance it. And sometimes like freshman people come on here like, I gotta do this. I mean, like at the same time, like is like a job gonna not take you because you gotta see in this one class? There's a balance to it, as it is in many things in life. You gotta have fun though. It's like the connections are also what makes it. You know what I mean? Like it is all about networking and stuff because more and more people are hiring people without degrees every day. It's like you might as well make the opportunity to find the connections. So someone, when you guys start your business or whatever, like be like, hey, remember I had you guys on the podcast? You sauced me that loan, you know what I mean? I got that new invention you can invest in. All right, no, that's awesome. And my last question for y'all in this kind of deep segment before we get to some fun stuff is, how do you want to be remembered, Dubjay?
Sam Stu, that is a question I haven't even thought about myself.
That is.
I think about this stuff all the time. You're probably better off for not thinking about it. I get the gears turning too much.
I think that I want to be remembered as just somebody who was just happy-go-lucky, just always out for a good time, always trying to be fun, and was friends with everybody, and nobody ever had anything bad to say about him. It's really, I just want people to remember me as like, I don't know, just a happy guy who was always nice to everybody and was always cool with everybody.
That's how I remember you.
I really appreciate it.
No worries. And Zay, what about you?
I guess I want these people to remember me as
these people. These people out here.
Somebody who was just like, I don't know, it was just like real, just tell you straight up how it is, no matter how, like, you can take it how you want, but like, because that's the kind of person I feel like I am. Like, I'll just tell you how it is.
Call a spade a spade, a stool a stool, a shelf a shelf.
Exactly. Just keep it simple and everything like that, I guess.
Oh, no, that's great stuff. Definitely underrated quality in today's world. And Kaden, what about you?
I think I'd want to be remembered as just being kind of like similar to Beckett, like just like a personable guy, like someone that people weren't scared to come to if they wanted to talk about something or something like that. Like that's how I want to be remembered, just as like a really good close friend to the people that want to be friends with me. And other than that, it is what it is.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's awesome stuff, man. Thank you guys for those answers. I know that's a lot of deep stuff, a lot to think about, but man, I got a lot of good stuff. Hopefully the viewers at home and on the podcast, y'all get some good stuff to look at, think about. But guys, let me ask y'all some fun questions now. And first off the bat, I don't even know if y'all knew this is coming, but it's been floating around campus. If you could listen to one, and just one, musical artist for the rest of your life, who would it be?
NBA Youngboy. No thanks.
I second that one as well.
Youngboy.
Yeah.
Didn't he just get married? He just got married, didn't he?
I don't think
He He just got married.
No, I don't know. He's on like 8 kids.
No, but he did get married. I just heard on the radio today.
He might have. I have no clue. But I just know I can listen to his music all day for the rest of my life.
He got everything you need. There's a song for anyone.
I thought I would say Rod Wave. Or is that more of Kyron's thing?
Yeah, Kyron's a big Rod Wave.
Kyron and Derek, they said A Boogie
fans.
and Rod Wave.
Yeah, they were all Rod Wave fans, but personally, I just think NBA Youngboy, he got a song for any mood I'm in.
Got the move when you try to fight everyone in the room.
Yeah.
off the henny. Beckett, are you a Young Boy fan?
I am, but not as avid as these guys.
Me either. I'm not a huge Young Boy fan.
If I could listen to anybody, I'd probably listen to Travis Scott, and that would be that. Yeah.
Best Travis
That
Travis Scott album.
Ooh, Astroworld.
Yeah, I mean that's a good one.
Until he drops Utopia.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think my probably Young Boy album was it AI Young Boy 2?
Yeah, that's
the best.
That's a throwback.
Oh yeah. I mean, I did like I haven't listened to. Is it Slime Believe? Is that an album or is that just a song?
That's just a song.
That's just a song. Yeah, I'm not a huge Young Boy fan.
No, I respect.
Not a
it.
huge.
Not a lot of people are.
Yeah, but I'm not cut out for the life. You know what I mean? All right, next question. What is your favorite movie of all time and why?
Skyfall, James Bond.
Haven't seen it. I don't
haven't seen it.
This is why I ask. I don't ask for the viewer. I like to get recommendations.
I'm just telling you.
All right, Sky. Okay. James Bond. Cool. Is that?
I might just.
It's a huge movie, guys. So it's gonna take.
I know. I got.
Sorry, it's always the big movie because it would take me a long time too.
Yeah, like I'm watching a different movie every night, so like.
Me too, almost.
That's what I'm saying. I'll throw it back a little bit. I'll go to Sandlot. I feel like.
Wow, great answer. It's real.
I feel like that movie is kind of what got me into like sports. If I'm being.
It's just good cinema.
Yeah,
it really is.
It really is. And, yeah, Sandlot. It's a great movie.
I said Field of Dreams for mine. I don't know if you ever seen
Field of Dreams is a good
Good
one.
baseball movie.
Yeah.
What's your favorite? Is that your? I'm gonna assume that's your favorite baseball movie. The same.
Honestly, it's the only baseball movie I probably watched.
Oh,
to be
really?
completely honest with you.
She's not like Major League.
I'm not a big baseball movie kind of guy.
Missing out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, baseball about the funnest game to watch live, but they made good movies. Bull Durham. It's really good too. Kane, what about you?
I'm not like a huge movie guy. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I do love Adam Sandler. So like, any Adam Sandler movie, I'm down to watch anytime.
Do you see Hustle?
Yeah,
Hustle was good.
I thought that was. Really
But I thought what was better is Uncut Gems. Uncut Gems was so fire.
Amazing with Kevin Garnett.
Kevin Garnett actually was like a really good actor in that
really
movie.
Good actor in it.
Yeah, you know Anthony Edwards in Hustle was really good.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, you're Donnie the real man. Like he waved to her. I was like, nah, that's cold. Nah, that was a good. Hustle was really good. Adam Sandler, like, well, I think he like when he got in the second half of his career, he'd been in like Grown Ups and like Jack and Jill, all that kind of slapstick comedy, which are always like classics. I'll watch Grown Ups anytime it's on. But like Uncut Gems, I was like, wow, that's good acting.
He was like out of his realm, kind of.
Yeah, everyone's like, what is this? Like he's like this kind of mobster in New York. He's like it's this shady diamond business, and like it's if you haven't watched it, make sure you go check it out. It's really good. Now, my next question for y'all before we dive into some pro sports talk just a little bit is, if you can hang out with one basketball player all time, any period in history for a day, who would you hang out with?
Good question. I'm probably just gonna keep it simple and go with Michael Jordan.
Mike Jordan.
Mike
Jordan.
Shout out Mike Jordan.
Shout out Mike Jordan. But like, I just feel like I could learn a lot from him.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot he could teach me, and like just not even about basketball, just being about like just a person.
Yeah.
And like I kind of want to know like how he dealt with all like that fame.
Yeah.
Such like a early like part of his career and everything. See how he like just pick his brain.
That's who I would say too. What about you guys?
Me personally, I would say Kevin Durant. That's my favorite player of all time, and I think that he'd just be like one of the like realest, chillest dudes to hang out with.
Yeah. You better not end up on the burner though, bro. You might end up on the burner if you talk bad about him, dog.
That's my boy. I'll never talk bad about KD. No KD.
So you weren't even mad when he went to. Well, I'm a Warrior. When he went to Golden State.
I was not mad at any decision he made.
Really?
Wow. If you want to win a chip, you gotta
win a chip. All right. Yeah, no, hey, that's fair enough. And
probably Larry Bird. Honestly, I feel like he'd be a cool guy coming from Indiana. Just chilling.
Yeah. I love the scene. Have you seen The Last Dance? When he goes up to him after the game, he's like, Larry, you bitch. Oh, man. That's fun. Oh, I forgot. I just added this one to the show last. And, these guys, they like to, study and play basketball. They like to party a little bit. So, guys, if you almost set the scene at ATO. You're on the ATO table, and you got the phone in your hand. You got 5 seconds to put on a party banger. The whole crowd's looking at you. What song are you putting on?
That's a question. I'd have to look at my playlist now.
I said either Elm Street by Jimmy Wapo or Freestyle by Lil Baby.
Freestyle's a good one.
Freestyle is, and everyone, it's because I feel like the question is like, it has to be something everyone knows.
Yeah.
Like, it can't be like something like Banger.
I got one. Dreams and Nightmares.
Yeah, Dreams and Nightmares.
My fault.
Man, I'm probably gonna say Apple Bottom Jeans.
The whole wide world was a
club.
or what? I don't even know the words. Yeah, you want to? That's why I'd be like, I'd be at the party, I'd be like mouthing the words. I don't know the words.
You one of them?
I am one. I'd be in the corner like, last night was a movie, bro. I said what's up to like 3 girls. All right, Beckett, what about you?
Well,
I know you put on some heat.
No, I had a song in my head, and then Zay said that, so now I'm gonna rock with the Flo Rida trail and go where them girls at, so I can get that. It's a good tune. It's a good tune.
Yeah, it's a solid tune.
Yeah.
Dance to it a little bit. All right, y'all. Now I know y'all watched some football this weekend because I watched some of the games with y'all, but what were your biggest takeaways from the NFL this weekend? I mean, we had a crazy weekend. I'll save my biggest take, or you know what? Heck, I'll say it right now. My biggest takeaway was Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes, former Duke player, first QB in NFL history with 300 passing yards, 75 rushing yards in a game, and a win in the playoffs, all in the same game. 68.6 completion percentage, 114.1 QBR from Danny Dimes. That was my biggest takeaway. Any thoughts on this weekend's game, Phillips? Biggest takeaways?
Jeez.
I'd probably say had to be that Jacksonville Chargers game. You know, Trevor Lawrence, he was coming out and wasn't looking too good, but then, you know, he picked it up in the second half, and I was really impressed with the way he played.
Definitely a combination of, like, Brandon Staley choking, and I don't know how the Jaguars keep winning, because they should have lost that Titans game, too. It's unreal, but, yeah, I mean, if you're the other team, I mean, they fired their OC and one of their other coaches today, but they haven't fired Staley yet, but your thoughts on this weekend, guys?
My biggest takeaway is that I think Tom Brady either needs to get out of Tampa Bay or needs to retire, one of the two.
I mean, I have some thoughts on that, but I'll let Beckett go first.
Well, I just want to say the most obvious thing from Wild Card Weekend is Brock Purdy's that dude.
I mean, but is he though? Like, all right, here's what I'm thinking. All right, and here's why I don't rock with the overhype of Brock Purdy, because you got to look at the weapons he has: Debo Samuel, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey. And look at that defensive line. Look at that defense. I mean, I'm not saying he's bad. He's definitely a good, solid quarterback in the NFL. But I think if you stick a lot of quarterbacks in that situation, they're going to be successful. You know what I mean?
I mean, I
think he's good, but he's not him.
I think that Miami has a lot of weapons too, and they have Tyreek Hill and they have.
I mean, but they almost won though. You know what I mean?
But still, like, he should have won the game if he's got all those weapons.
I mean, it's true, 6-0, but I think the thing you got to think about too is also coaching. I don't know. Some people were questioning Mike McDaniels. He was ripping the vape on the sideline. But I got to say, Shanahan has done a really good job with the 49ers.
I agree.
He's done a really good job. But, you know, Kay made a point that I want to bring up. Tom Brady, what's going to happen? Like, obviously, the guy's 45 years old. I mean, he doesn't really stand in the pocket and take hits anymore. Like, he kind of bails out, which, like, who can blame him? Like, you don't want to get hit after playing 20 years in the NFL. Like, the Buccaneers have weapons. Like, it's like they still have a decent shell around them. So, like, do we have predictions on where Tom Brady's going to go? If you had to,
I feel like Tom Brady should retire.
you think? But do you think? Not what you. What do you think he'll do?
What do I think he'll do?
I mean, you're talking about the Raiders are pursuing him, the Dolphins, the 49ers.
The Dolphins are going to be the team that I think he's going to go to.
Yeah, I think you should go to Raiders. Derek Carr sucks.
I can see him playing for the Raiders.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like what
Vegas.
does he have to prove? Like, there's no team that's going to take him that's going to be a Super Bowl contender right away. Like, the Buccaneers, like, he had a little time, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, the Buccaneers should have won last year against the Rams. But I mean, this whole season was just a disaster for the Bucs. And although I will say, like, don't be surprised that Tampa Bay, with, you know, Bruce Arians still around the organization with a good core, not a great NFL head coach, but a solid NFL coach in Todd Bowles and players like him. Don't be surprised if Rodgers or Lamar Jackson ends up in Tampa. I don't think it'd be the craziest thing in the world. I'm not going to predict it, but I think Rodgers wants out of Green Bay.
He definitely wants out of Green Bay.
You know what I mean? That's my takeaway.
I like it.
My takeaway is, like, I just feel like the Bills, man, I'm not a huge fan of the Bills. I don't know if you guys saw Josh Allen push that guy. And Josh Allen is like the Ben, he's overhyped. He's like the Ben Roethlisberger of this era. Like, you're not Ben Roethlisberger. He was never Drew Brees. He was never Peyton Manning. He was never Tom Brady. Mm-hmm. Like, Josh Allen, this is my personal take. These are the quarterbacks that are better than Josh Allen. Burrow, Mahomes. Yeah, I'm just going to go with Burrow and Mahomes, but that goes to my point of, like, what I can say right now. Definitely Burrow and Mahomes. They're like, he's not that elite guy that's the best in the league. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If you guys agree with that.
Yeah, I've seen way too many people, and like this year in general, try to have the comparison between Mahomes and Allen, and honestly, I just think there is.
I think Burrow's a better quarterback than Allen. I mean, you see what Burrow's done with that offensive line.
Exactly, worst offensive line almost in the league.
Yeah.
He's still just shredded.
In the Super Bowl, they made it to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like,
with some luck, though. With some luck. I mean, they won all 3 games by a field goal, right? Like,
I mean, but that's what takes in the playoffs, though. You know what I mean? I mean, except for the Buccaneers game, there were a lot of close games.
And I mean, the Ravens, they should have lost to them this past week. Fumble at the goal line, Travis Henley.
That was crazy. Yeah, I guess you should have gone
there. That's a takeaway, too. I mean,
yeah, I don't know. You guys played receiver, right? I don't know if that's like a common thing you see on the goal line, people reaching over, but it was just a good play, and then 98-yard TD. Do you guys miss football at all?
I do a little bit.
Definitely.
I definitely had some fun in my high school career playing football, so I don't know. I do kind of sometimes miss it watching like these professional athletes play it.
Yeah,
I'm like, dang.
Yeah, I gotcha. Now, okay, we'll go to the NBA next. Let's talk about the NBA. Now, we've got some headlines I want to talk about. Steve Kerr says Michael Jordan, his closest comparison to the NBA today is Steph Curry. After Steph Curry goes for a 40-point explosion versus the Wizards last week. What do we think about this comparison, guys?
Curry to Michael Jordan.
That's what Steve Kerr said. The closest thing to Michael Jordan in the NBA right now is Stephen Curry.
Fair.
I don't think player-wise. I think as far as like how the NBA followed Michael Jordan, that's how they're.
And I think that's what Steve Kerr was coming from, because you got to think. I think he's gained popularity around the world because Michael Jordan. I think, like with the idea of culture and bringing culture into basketball, that's what Michael Jordan did. But the idea of Steph Curry, this short, when he came in the league, very scrawny kid, taking on all these giant guys, I think that like really inspired the popular world, because like now everyone's like, oh, I can be in the NBA, I can be like Steph Curry, even though Steph Curry is like 6'2", like he's not even that short compared to like the average human being, but like everyone's like, oh, I can just work to improve my game and I can have an advantage by using this 3-point line. Like he changed the game in that way. Like if you think about it, and y'all know the X's and O's more, but to me, like basketball is almost positionless to the NBA nowadays. Like you look at Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, they all play facing the basket 3-point line. You even look at someone like Giannis, he starts at the 3-point line. No one plays back to the basket anymore. You know what I mean? So I feel like Curry just changed the game in that way. So I don't know if you guys really like have any more thoughts on that, but I think it's a fair comparison.
I think it is too, because you look at Jordan's impact on the league and how he changed it when he came in, and now you look at Curry, he's basically doing the same thing. Like just like you said, nobody's playing back to the basket. Everybody wants to shoot a 3. Yeah. Everybody wants to be able to have like the jump shot like Curry. Everyone want to be like Mike. Everyone want to be like Curry. Same thing.
I want to be like Mike. That's why I got the haircut, bro.
Yeah, you got too much hair to be like Mike.
Nah, I'm talking about Mike Bigley. The other Mike.
Oh, that Mike.
Yeah. They're both him.
The best Mike.
Yeah, you do got the same cut as Mike.
Yeah, shout out Mike Bigley. And as Mike Bigley said, there's levels to him. Himothy, and him cheese.
Yeah, there's levels.
There's levels.
You just...
All right, guys. Next point that I want to bring up. LeBron James says there's been a lack of foul calls for the Lakers this season. After losing to the 76ers, Russell Westbrook drove the ball off his foot. No timeout was called. He tries to go in on Joel Embiid. LeBron says he's fouled. Do we feel like this is a fair criticism from LeBron that the Lakers aren't getting calls?
I think that on this particular play, LeBron was fouled. But I also think LeBron cries and whines about foul calls way too much. So, yeah.
I mean, it comes out of the stretch. Like, you got to play through this. To me, it was a ticky-tacky type foul. Like, they're not going to call that. I mean, you have the review. That didn't come into play. I don't know. My thing is, like, the reason the Lakers are 13th in the West right now at 20 and 24 is not because the refs. Like, let's just be honest. Like, Russ's game was built on athleticism. And does he fit in? No, not really. But also, you think, like, he's 30-whatever years old now. Like, he's getting older. And his game was built basically off pure athleticism. He's never been a great shooter. Like, so you got to think, like, do the Lakers have any shot to even make the playoffs or even go deep? What do you guys think?
Me personally, I think that they have a shot. I mean, if AD comes back, that's when they're.
Yeah, but that's a big if, though.
That's a big if, I know.
It's like almost like he's not taking care of his body or something. Because look at the amount of injuries LeBron's had in his career. Very few.
But, like, I don't know. That's hard to say because, like, there's a bunch of people that have been the same way. Like, that's just how it works. It's
right.
Just,
I mean, and that's true. You got to think, but, like, you just look at those guys, you know, like, you can look at someone like LeBron who takes such good care of his body. And, like, there's the evidence. And, like, I'm not saying AD doesn't, but you saw that clip of him and he was like, I haven't picked up a basketball since April in the middle of the fall last year. You know what I mean? So it's like, you have to wonder. You have to wonder at a certain point, you know? Does any thoughts on this?
I mean, yeah, like, I don't know. I don't think the Lakers are good. I don't, personally. I don't think LeBron really has the pieces. Like, he doesn't have good enough players right now to really make an impact against any other team, really, because once it gets down to that nitty-gritty in the playoffs, I don't think his team's going to be able to show up.
Right.
And LeBron can only do so much.
Yes or no, LeBron ends up hanging up the shoes as a Laker?
No.
LeBron's going to stay a Laker until his son gets in the league.
And then you think he goes wherever his son goes? I could see him going somewhere like crazy, but like, maybe not the Warriors, because I think that probably ruins his legacy. Maybe like the Mavs or like I feel like he'd want to go team up with someone because that's just his personality, you know.
I don't even think it matters. Like, if he could go on the Wizards, or if his son's drafted to the Wizards right now, I think he's going straight to the Wizards, even though they don't have anybody to really build around. I mean, they have Kristaps and Kuzma, but that's not championship pieces. If you know what I'm saying.
I mean, but they think you get like LeBron there, like, you know, Kuzma's not a bad player. I don't know. We'll see. It's almost like, what is he doing it for? It's almost like a similar situation with Brady and LeBron. It's like, what do they have left to prove? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys Jordan people or LeBron people?
I'm Jordan. I still think Braun got some things to prove.
Yeah.
Gotta get a couple more rings.
All right, good. We don't even have to have this discussion. Great. Great. No, I gotcha. Now, man, do you guys have a prediction for who wins this NBA season? I mean, it's really all over the place. I got some thoughts, but I'll turn it over to the floor. So, okay, I'll give my take what I'm thinking. So, for the Eastern Conference, I got into a little bit with my barber today. We had a good discussion about, 1 through 4, Celtics, Nets, Bucks, 76ers. I think all those teams have a shot. He was saying the Cavs and the Heat, but look, the Cavs have a good team, but like, do they have what it takes to go to the finals? In my opinion, no. He was really sold on that, but the Heat, they have Jimmy Butler, they did it, but I don't know. I think it's really 76ers, like we've seen them in the playoffs in the past, so I think it's got to be the Celtics, Nets, Bucks. I'm going to go with the Celtics. Look, they lost their head coach. They're playing really good ball. Jason Tatum is ultra motivated. You know, all those guys came so close to winning the championship last year. I mean, I see them going to the finals out of the East.
I could see that easily.
Mm-hmm.
I think the finals, it's going to be the Nets, and I think that I'm going to say the Warriors again. I just don't see anybody stopping the Warriors anytime soon.
If they can get healthy.
And it's always like this in the regular season, in the middle. Towards the end, they heat up, and then they get hot during the playoffs, and they're unstoppable.
So here's the thing: 9 to 13. I'm sorry, 6 to 13 is separated by 2.5 games in the West.
We were just talking about that.
Yeah, I mean the top 2 teams, the Grizzlies and the Nuggets. The Nuggets are playing good ball. I think the Nuggets are scared because Nikola Jokic is a really solid player.
Back to back.
But now we'll get to that in a sec. But I mean, to me, the Grizzlies are really they have so much hype around them, but they already called themselves a dynasty and stuff. You know, and Clay hit that too of Dylan Brooks. That was awesome. But like, I just feel like there's so much hype around this team. It's like they've hyped themselves up too much already. You know what I mean? Like I'm all for like having fun. They do like the dancing and stuff, but it's almost like, what have they done though? You know what I mean? Like they play with that. Like Ja plays with that swag, but like, how can you call yourself a dynasty if you ain't made the finals yet? You know what I mean?
They haven't won anything yet.
They haven't won anything.
They haven't won a conference championship, not an NBA championship.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's just a little. I mean, I think that's a good rivalry, the Warriors and the Grizzlies. Because I think the NBA right now, like it's with. I think the face of the NBA is changing. Like I was just hearing Bomani Jones on a podcast talking about the aesthetics of it. Like coaches don't have to wear suits anymore. And there's like it's more freedom for the player. That's all really cool and stuff. But I think one thing is like. Another part of the aesthetic is the players are friends more, so you don't have the rivalry. And I don't know about you guys, I loved watching that Warriors-Memphis game because you know it's a rivalry. Like who's like the Lakers' rival right now? Like, do they have like a right? Because LeBron's so buddy with him, and that's like, I'm not saying like he's like evil for it, has ruined the NBA, but like personally, I like to see the rivalry. Like when the Pelicans and the Suns played, and they got chippy after. Like I like to Zion threw down that 360. Like give us some. Like that's what sells tickets. You know what I mean? To me, I think like stars and the rivalries stars have like. I'm sure we could talk basketball history all night, but yeah, like Magic and Bird. Then you had Jordan and the Pistons. Then you had the Lakers and the Celtics before all that. And then you had, Pistons and Lakers in the early 2000s, Lakers and Celtics again, Warriors, Cavs. Like, but who's the big rival right now? You know what I mean? Like, I think it's just we're waiting to see who's next. And maybe like that Celtics Warriors, we'll see. I feel like the Warriors are definitely at the end of their run though, and the Celtics are just beginning. So well, who knows? We'll have to see. Do you guys have an MVP prediction now? Beckett brought up the idea again of Nikola Jokic, and if you had to ask right now, it would be Nikola Jokic for me. But will the voters give it back to back to back? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Because you gotta look at LeBron's career, and there are years you're like, okay, LeBron could have been that. You look at Kobe's career, like should Steve Nash have won the MVP? Like, it's a real debate to be made there. And I think like we just get something that's called voting fatigue as like sports fans. Like, do we want to see Nikola Jokic win a third? You know what I mean? Like, thoughts on your MVPs right now? John Morant's definitely up there.
Luka.
Luka's
crazy. I don't know.
My thing is my thing with like the voter fatigue. I think it's more of they say they don't like put it or like take it into consideration, but like Jokic get knocked out of the first round in the playoffs every year also can't help him in his case to win MVP. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, last year he won it, and then they went and got swept, I think, by the Warriors, right?
Yeah.
Or somebody like that. But I think that's one big reason why I don't think he'll get it again this year.
I think it's either going to be Luka or Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum's kind of
JT, we didn't bring him up yet.
It's 25 every night. It's 25, 6 and 4 every night. Yeah. So I think that's just something to be said for that.
For sure. Now, here's a statement. Last kind of topic we'll debate for tonight is if you could start a franchise with any player in the NBA right now, who would it be? At the start of their let's go in their current state, at their current age. Who would you take? I guess I'll give my answer first. It would be down between Giannis and Luka, and I'm gonna go with Luka just because Giannis' game is based around athleticism. As he gets older, we'll see what happens. Like, imagine if Giannis could shoot, but he can't really enough to stay in the league as an elite threat. So I'm gonna go with Luka right now. All I'm saying is I would take Victor Wembanyama, because he is Giannis who can shoot like Stephen Curry. So I don't know. I've heard people saying like his expectations would be like top 5 or GOAT, but like that's a lot of pressure.
That is a lot of pressure.
We'll see. But anyway, who would you guys take right now at their current age to start a franchise with?
I'm probably gonna agree with you and take Luka. It's night in, night out.
Yeah, I think I'm also gonna agree with you. I think he's the most consistent player. So. That's all I need.
Yeah, Luka doesn't play a lot of defense though. Not a great defender.
I like Luka, but I don't like the style of basketball that his team has to play surrounding him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard to just sit there and be expected to knock down shots at any point that he passes you the ball. So mine might be John Morant. I think I'd like John Morant to be the star.
That's a really solid answer. Did you see the mural they put up in Dallas? It was like, Mark Cuban, bro. Mark Cuban's so petty. He's so petty, bro. Like, man. If you give me a 5-year window or a 3-year window, I feel like I have to go with Giannis though. Yeah. Because like when he still has athleticism, like literally, like they form a defensive wall. Like it's literally 5 guys sitting there. Like there's only a few people. Like when Ben Simmons has checked him at times, Ben Adebayo, Joel Embiid's on him 1-on-1. Like but he really just. It's not like he has a whole lot of moves in his bag. Like he gets the ball on top of the key and then he just takes off. Yeah. It's a Euro step or a spin. That's it. So. What is that?
I said he's like a modern Shaq.
Yeah, that's great. Man, facts. Great comparison. All right, guys. Well, it's almost time to head to break, but of course, y'all know what the deal is. We got our trivia segment tonight, and I love when we have 3 people on because it really allows us to expand the trivia beyond sports and get the different categories that I love talking about as a trivia aficionado. Now, your teammates were our first 3-person episode, Acosta, Jaquila, and McCourt. They got 3 for 3. Real smart guys down there at the freshman level,
Debatable.
I'm sure you guys have a ton of stories to back that up. They're the smartest people on the team, but it's time for your trivia questions tonight. Now, how this works is you guys answer them after the break. And tonight we have them from 3 different categories. We have geography, science, and basketball.
Geography.
I know Zay's got science like that.
I do have science. Let me get that science question.
All right, Zay, well, you want the science question first? Well, Beckett is from the town of Beaver. So what are baby beavers called? Is it A, kit, B, pup, or C, beaverling? The second question for tonight is, and whoever can take this one, this is the geography question. Who wants this one? All right, Beckett. What is the nickname of Pennsylvania? Is it A, the Keystone State, B, the Dogwood State, C, the Freedom State, or D, the Founding State? And Kaden, our final trivia question for tonight is, who is the all-time leader in free throws made per game? Is it A, LeBron, B, Jordan, C, Shaq, or D, Wilt Chamberlain? We'll get your answers after the break. This is the present tense with Sam Thorne, 91.7 FM, WNJ Washington, and online at WNJR.org. All right, got about 5 minutes. We are back on the present tense with Sam Thorne, 91.7 FM at WNJR Washington, and online at WNJR.org. Today we are talking with 3 members of our Dubjay basketball squad: Beckett, Connelly, Isaiah Langston, and Kaden Divito. And guys, this is one of my favorite segments. So this is trivia time. So let's go ahead and get into it. Before the break, we asked the guests our trivia questions, and Zay, you'll start us off with the science for tonight.
Let's go.
What are baby beavers called? Are they called kits, pups, or beaverlings?
I'm gonna go with pups.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect. It's kit.
Dang.
It is kit. Baby, according to livescience.com, baby beavers are called kits, usually weaned after 6 weeks of life.
Fraudulent website, I think you're right.
Livescience.com. That is the most common name. I'm sure people do call them pups at times, but that is the most common name. So sorry. Next question. What is the nickname of the Pennsylvania state? Wait, what is it? Something like that. What's the nickname of the state of Pennsylvania? Is it A, the Keystone State, B, the Dogwood State, C, the Freedom State, or D, the Founding State?
Well, considering all the founding fathers sounded that thing in Philadelphia, I'm gonna have to go with the Founding State.
I'm sorry, 0 for 2. That's incorrect. It's actually
Slank.
it's actually the Keystone State because it was key in building the Union. Close guess on the Founding State. Close guess.
That's what I told you about.
Yeah, the Keystone State. I didn't know that,
They
but
found it, right?
yeah, I thought you guys might know that because you guys, are from PA. But
I guess not.
that's in PA, bro. All right, Kaden, to save us from the 0 for 3. See, now the pressure's on the other way. Now the pressure's on the other way. You really had to use your context clues for this one. Who is the all-time leader in free throws made per game? Is it A, LeBron, B, Jordan, C, Shaq, or D, Wilt?
I would never answer LeBron for this one. I want to say Wilt because I feel like he got to the line all the time back in the day, but I'm gonna go with Shaq.
That's correct. That's correct.
Actually.
Yes, it's actually correct. Go to sportingblog.com, all-time leader in free throws made per game. And that's who you wrote out first. Were you joking?
I thought it was Wilt for sure.
No, Shaq is correct. He actually, so here's the thing.
The Hack-a-Shack era. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
so he did shoot a lot. So 1 year he shot at 62.2, and his average for his career, well, that was in 2002, and his average for his career is 52.7%. It's you gotta think, if he goes to the line, he makes almost above every one. Sometimes he makes he's gotta add up a lot of free throws, especially how much he got hacked. You know what I mean? So wow, that was good, Kaden. Well, one for 3 tonight. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. Very good. Hey, if we're playing baseball, you'd be in the Hall of Fame. All right, guys. Well, that was a great, first kind of part of the show. But I always love to ask people about how I can get better at their sports. Now, this is a good rebounding group right here, especially looking at these 2 guys right here, real horses. Now, Zay is Zay and Beckett, they're horses, man. Now, what's the biggest keys to rebounding?
I'd probably say kind of like reading the ball a little bit. Like when you see the shot go up, I guess as an elite rebounder as myself.
That's crazy. Self-plug. Hey, bro, a lot of confidence.
I
It's another coach too.
I kind of, you just kind of get like a read for the ball, like when it's in the air and like how it's like where it's gonna hit the rim and how it like bounces off a certain part of the rim. So you just like put yourself in like a good position based on how the shot went up. And, like you'll be able to rebound the ball.
Beckett, anything to add to that?
I think the biggest key to rebounding is probably to grab the ball before the other guy grabs the ball. Like probably jump higher. I'm just kidding, but
you're really not though.
Like 100% definitely do that. But like, give yourself a quality solid box out, give yourself a little room, and go up and high point the ball.
Box out, just like
be a big body.
Just get down there. You know who's good at rebounding? Meg Dryberg.
26 boards, shout out.
She was like, just go get the ball when she came on here. I was like, all right, sure. It came for you, like, you're a real good shooter. You're a sniper. What are the biggest keys to shooting? Dude, my jump shot freaking sucks, dude. I'm like Ben Simmons out there.
Just getting reps, man. I mean, just getting in the gym and it's muscle memory, honestly, and just repping out the shots that you're going to take in game, whether it's coming off a pin down or coming off a ball screen or just simply catching and shooting the ball. I mean, just getting as many reps as you can and getting in those like live game situations.
Yeah. So how do you guys like emulate, like, because obviously in any sport, like doing something like, obviously like a lot of guys can throw strikes when there's no pressure. A lot of guys can hit a three when there's no pressure. How do you guys stimulate that pressure in practice? Because I see you guys doing all kinds of crap down there. Like, I don't even know what's going on. Like, you guys are always moving and running. So how do you guys simulate that sort of game adrenaline in practice?
Probably just the competitiveness of everybody. Everybody's trying to beat the person in front of them, and for the people who are trying to fight for more playing time, they're trying to prove a point. They're trying to do something. So the competitiveness definitely adds a little bit of an edge and pressure on everybody.
That's awesome. And one thing I wanted to ask about that I always see you guys doing is what's up with spades? Like, what I've never seen people so into spades. Like, I don't even know what that game is about. I just see you guys playing it and like what is like? When did y'all get into that? Is that like a team?
I think that's a Kaden and Zay question.
Oh, okay.
Those two can handle that one.
Is that like a Coriopolis like?
No,
thing?
I mean I knew about spades kind of like my whole life and everything, like just playing like growing up with my family and everything. But like I'd probably say we started playing spades our sophomore year.
Yeah,
we probably started
middle
playing
of sophomore year.
And honestly, it's just a fun card game to play with like four of your friends, like three other friends, like
It was funny. Y'all were trying to explain it to Brandon the other night. That was.
I mean, it's just something that like I don't know. I feel like depending on where you're from, like you might know about it, you might not. So like I don't know. Me and Zay, like I feel like I've known about it my whole life, but then I think we were just having like a conversation. It just came up one day, and it just turned out that there was like 3, 4, 5 other people on the team that knew how to play, and so we just all started.
Cool.
It turned into like a big thing, and we started tracking wins and losses. And
yeah, I know you guys get the whole like shoot it from the roof. No, like one person told me when I was about to come up school, they're like, you better play cards, and I was like, wow. I was like, oh, everyone up north plays cards. Like that's just like down south. Like I just never knew many people who played cards. I guess because like we'd always just like go outside, you know what I mean? But up here in the first tundra, although the weather has been nice this spring or J-term semester. But and what about pool? Zay, I'm quoted. I have a receipt on this show. Is I believe it was JR who said Isaiah. I forgot what your middle name was. Is it Charles?
Yeah.
Yes, remembered it right. Yes! Charles Langston is the best pool player he'd ever seen. I mean, how are you so talented? Your basketball, spade. I mean, how are you just...
Honestly...
How are you Himmy?
Honestly, I kind of just I kind of goes a little bit like into school. Like I was great at geometry and everything. Like best in my class. So like, if you kind of can just like translate like the angles.
Bro, pulling out the protractor on the Mr. Science.
Honestly, it's a game of angles. It's a game of angles.
Simple
and scrapey.
What do you say? Simple game. A lot of green out there. You just gotta...
A lot of green, a lot of blue, whatever color kind of table you're playing on. I'm just saying, it's all about the angles.
The first time I played with you guys, I remember Zay hit like this shot where like bounced back and forth twice when Beckett just puts up the stickiest. That's just good pool. You can't beat it. It's just good pool. I mean, you go out there and execute. It's just a really simple game, all about the angles, right?
Yeah, it's the opposite of peeing in the pool. You know what I mean?
Wait, what? Wait,
no,
what?
It's like there's a little pool quote, like not a pool quote, like a pool saying that we have, like it's like if someone does something like kind of like bad on the pool table, like like block your ball or something, we say like peeing in the pool. Because like you can't pee in the pool. Like it's frowned upon to pee in the pool. So it's frowned upon to like do that, play a little dirty. I guess that's how I guess it's playing dirty, peeing in the pool.
All right, sure. I'll never.
You'll never look at pool the same.
No, I'll never look. I thought you got someone peed on the pool table. I was like, nah, that's not the type of story we need to be telling out here. Yeah.
Tuesday.
It's a normal Tuesday with Dubjay men's basketball.
No room to into that.
Now, like, I just want to clear something up. Like, there is a footstool. Some people call it a seat. Some people call it a stool. But I just want to say, I'm gonna make like 5 guys. I'm gonna squash the beef. It's over. The beef's over. It's a stool, it's a seat,
honestly,
tomato, potato.
Stu, it's broken now, so we don't even gotta worry about it.
I mean, that's just a sign. I think just like it broke. And that was like the tension between us. It just broke.
It just broke. But like, hey,
now we're ordering pizzas together.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
we
like,
fixed it.
We can't start from the bottom. Now we're here.
Exactly, basically.
All right, guys, let's bring it home. It's time for my favorite segment of the show. It's time for the quote of the day. We've had some great ones so far this season, so there's a lot of discussion about this up in New Res 4-3, so I'm excited to hear what we have for tonight. And Zay, I know JR was saying, Zay got a good one, but I couldn't hear it. So Zay, why don't you start us off tonight?
Yeah, I'll go. I kind of like this quote a lot because, it kind of makes me, it's kind of like how I like to just go about things and everything. So it's obstacles are what we see whenever we take our eyes off our goal. And I feel like, I just feel like that just keeps me like pushing forward and to never lose sight of what my original goal is,
Yeah.
Wow.
For sure.
Steve.
That's a thick milkshake there.
Thick milkshake.
That is a lot to digest. Sheets. Check out slide to the present tense. Sheets party after party at Sheets. About to be a movie. Post on your story. Tag us on the socials.
Yeah, slide 380.
Someone buy me an app sampler. And Beckett, what about you?
My quote is something that my dad always told me growing up. He always told me that a peacock that rests on its tail feathers is just another turkey. So I always want to be a peacock that shows its tail feathers, be a little bit different than everybody else, stand out.
Stu, you didn't even get that.
No, I ain't on that level, bro.
I just wanted to think about it.
Oh, he's lost everything.
Yeah, I'm lost in the sauce, dude.
Dude, you know what a peacock is?
I know what a peacock is. I know what a peacock is.
Okay.
So you gotta show your
You gotta
colors.
show you gotta spread your tail feathers,
Or else you're just another turkey.
Just another turkey.
That's good. I was so in my head. I was like, "Yo," everyone's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, yo, I don't get it."
Sorry, I didn't mean to drop the best quote ever. On here.
Whoa, that's crazy. Top. There is a running list. There is a running list I can confirm. It will never get revealed the best quotes of all time. But King, why don't you bring us home for tonight? Take us home.
Alright, my quote of the day is you can't expect to hit the jackpot if you don't put a few nickels in the machine. And that's basically you gotta take small risks in life in order to get to where you want to be. And that's something that I pride myself on, taking risks.
It's a good quote.
Scared money don't make money.
Scared money does not make money.
Yo, my mind is blown, yo.
Was that the best segment of quotes you ever heard?
I mean, that's up there for sure. That's got to be up there. I mean,
It's gotta be top 2.
I'm a guy who can talk a lot. You guys took the words out of my mouth. I couldn't speak.
Step in, let me take your breath away.
Stu.
Now we get snapped on the presidents. Well, guys, seriously, thank you for coming on tonight. This has been a really fun episode. We've got to talk, about you guys, the basketball team, some good NFL and NBA talk as well. Good luck Wednesday. Good luck the rest of the way. And thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Hey, thank you for having us, Stu.
I appreciate it, Steph.
Yeah,
Very much
thank
so.
you guys. You guys are always good friends. Some of the nicest people on campus. Make sure you come say what's up to me and all the guys and come support at their games when everyone gets back to campus. But until then, if you don't see me around, make sure you check me out on the present tense this Thursday with Amanda Eiflin and Gabby Gala, our first women's lax players on the season. It's going to be a good show. But until then, everyone have a great night. Remember to live in the present tense.